Here we go. Okay, here we have the Yom Yom. Everything that is, these are sayings by the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, everything that is holy to the nation of the God of Abraham, in other words, the Jewish people, and is fundamental to the house of Israel, to the Jewish people, Bnei Israel, in establishing and earning, making a upright and proper generation. Namely, food has to be kosher. The Shabbat has to be kept. This was given to God for the preservation and the development of the Jewish people. All these are in the control of the women. The women, they're the ones that are in control of kosher food, what comes into the house, and the keeping of Shabbat. Right? This is called, the women is called the Akeret Habayit, the foundation. The women, the Jewish women, they're really the foundation of Judaism. A woman who fulfills her obligation and the purpose of her life and the life of the family in conducting a house and seeing that the education be according to the Torah, this woman is the subject. This is what it says. King Solomon said in Mishlei, Chachmat, Mishlei, that's right. In Proverbs, the wisdom of women, Chachmat Nashim Banta Baita. It says Chachmat Nashim, the wisdom of women, builds the house. And you can see there are families, I know, that the whole thing goes after the woman, right? Sometimes a couple gets married and the woman decides she wants to become religious. When that happens, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, the children, they come out to be observant Jews. If the man alone decides he wants to become religious, then it's problems. Then the children, the inspiration that children get to do Torah and the commandments is optional. Yeah, take it or leave it. The woman, she's the one that really sets the tone and gives the inspiration for Judaism in the home. That's today. Now we have tomorrow. 1 minute. Tomorrow. Here we go. From my father's sichot. This is the previous Rebbe speaking about his father, who was the 5th Rebbe of Chabad, Rabbi Shalom Dovber. All right, this week's Torah portion, by the way, if you know, it talks about the 2 sons of Aaron, Nadav and Avihu, and they went into the holy temple uninvited. They weren't invited. So it says the sin of Aaron's sons was that when they came close to God, they died. Now, interestingly enough, if you read in our Torah portion, it says that Aaron's 2 sons, they did a sin, but their intentions were the best. And they were willing to give their lives because they wanted to come close to God. As soon as the tabernacle was open and the revelation of God was there on the first day, they ran into the Holy of Holies. They ran into the uninvited. They came close to God and they died. So Moses said, listen, their intentions were the best. It should only be that all the Jews wanted to come close to God like they wanted to. But the way they did it was too impetuous. It was not right. And therefore it says that they died, which is sort of what they wanted anyway. I mean, they wanted to come close to God, and that's what they did. They weren't thinking. They wanted to come close. So it says that's called Rotza V'lo Shov. It means that they ran in, they wanted to come close to God, and they didn't want to come back to the world. The truth is that when you come before God, there has to be v'titharu. You have to be clean and pure. You have to be clean and pure. In other words, not thinking about yourself. And this is only evident in actual deed in the world. That which is in the highest levels has to come down into the lowest place. Therefore, if you just want to be holy and come close to God, that's called death. That's what some people want, just to come close to God. And that's why all the religions in the world they stress the the value and the, how do you say, the 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 goal is to die. That's the goal. The goal is that everybody's going to die, right? Wise up. You're going to die one day. What's going to happen to you after you die? If you do what we say, then you're going to get the big reward. That's all the religions in the world are talking about: going up and getting close to God, or being close to the spiritual, or being close to the. Judaism says, of course, you have to be close to God and you have to be close to the spiritual, but the purpose of it is to come into this world and not think about yourself. Wanting to come close to God means you're thinking about yourself. Good, you're thinking about yourself in a very holy way, in a spiritual way, but that's not benefiting the world. The reason we're here in the world is to benefit the world, to fix the world. That's called rotzi, going up and coming back. If you don't want to come back, that's called death, and death is not good according to Judaism. God commands Moses is to speak to Aaron. It says Aaron are the same levels as letters as to see. Aharon, Ria, to see, which means intellect, seeing. Moses is supposed to tell Aaron that if you want to come into the holy, you want to come into the Holy of Holies, don't do like your sons did. You want to come into the state of the world before the world was even created. You have to know that upon the ark, the letters of the a ro'eh on the ark, Aaron is also to see, near to be seen. Aaron is the same letters to see. So there is a kaporet, there's a covering, the inner intent of the purpose of the concealment of covering on the top of the ark. Right? What was in the ark? The tablets. Pure godliness was revealed. That's what was in the Holy of Holies, the Ten Commandments. Pure godliness. You have to know that there's a covering over that. The reason that God covers himself over was because there's a purpose to it. Al pnei kapor, this is the inside of this covering. For this reason, he says, you should not die. Don't stop with dying. Don't stop with just going up, coming close to God, because the whole purpose of this is to come into the world. That's what it says. The introductory word to this is ve'al. Ve'al, that he should not. Ve'al yavo el kodesh. Here it says, let's see the sentence. It says, lo yavo, ve'al yavo b'kol eit el kodesh, al pnei kaporet. Wait a second, where is this? Where is this? Oh, man. It says, Aaron. Oh, it says, here it says, Va'al, then it says, Moshe. There's the sentence. I can't find it. 1 minute, I'm trying to find the sentence over here. Oh. More, it says, that doesn't say. Say to Aaron. Ki be'anan era'el lakaporet. This is alakaporet. Tzimtzum rishon. Okay, I don't know. It says, I'm sorry. It says al hakaporet. Al means the letters of al. Aaron. Aaron means to see, that we said before. Oh, it says ve'al hakaporet. Ve'al yavo. He didn't bring it down here. Ve'al yavo b'kol 8. El hakaporet. I'm sorry. 1 second. Where is this? Okay. For some reason, this is eluding me. I can't find it. Oh. Va'al, here it is, va'al, there it is. Va'al yavo, he should not come all the time. It says, that's what it means, he should not come. The word is va'al, he should not enter. This means negating yourself, means that you have to negate yourself. Don't do what you want to do. Surrender yourself to what God wants, doing what Chassidut demands, not what your intelligence and what your intellect wants. Then you'll go into the Holy of Holies, right? Just for instance, the Rebbe said that we have to think about Mashiach, talk about Mashiach. All of our life should be Mashiach. But the intellect says, come on, let's not go a little bit too overboard on this thing. It says you're supposed to do what the Chassidut demands from you and not what your intellect demands. That was the whole thing of Aaron's two sons. So let's just summarize what this is saying. This week's Torah portion has the two sons of Aaron tragically running into the Holy of Holies because they wanted godliness and dying. Says there's a big point to this. The message is the desire to come close to God is a good thing, but the desire to come close to God and not to make use of that closeness is a bad thing. It's called death, and death is the opposite of what the Torah wants. So therefore, a person has to realize that you have to control yourself. You have to put a negation to your own self desires and your self thoughts, and you have to harmonize yourself with what the Torah wants and what Chassidut demands of you, namely to fix up the physical world and not to think about yourself, even at the expense of your own spirituality and your own desires for coming close to God and to be far from the world. That is what will save the whole situation. And now, story. 1 second. Let's get this here. Stop the share.